had this realization a couple weeks ago that joy really doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes it's dancing in your living room with no one watching. Sometimes it's saying yes to brunch in your own kitchen because, newsflash, you got food at home. Sometimes it's curating the perfect charcuterie board just because it makes you smile. Joy doesn't need a special occasion, and it definitely doesn't need to wait until everything calms down. This is simple joys. So let's talk about what it looks like to choose joy now, not later. A few weeks ago, a friend sent a message that said, "Let's get together soon." And lately, I've been on this, let's take action now, let's not wait. And so if we can make it happen, let's make it happen. So instead of playing calendar tag for weeks like we usually do, or waiting to see what we have available in the next 3 to 6 months, within days, we locked in a date. No fuss, no overthinking. Instead of going out, I decided to host at my house because it's expensive outside. I went out the other day and for an appetizer and a drink, it came out to like $50. And I was like, nah, no, outside is too expensive for me. I cannot. And I like to go out and enjoy myself. And I had a lot of like get togethers with friends over the summer. And I say, I don't know, but this summer is very expensive and I don't like it one bit. So let's just pull up to the house. And so it really sparked something in me that I had forgotten that I enjoyed doing just because I haven't done it in so long. But hosting really takes a lot out of you. But it re-sparked my love for hosting. I love setting the vibe. I love making playlists. I love curating themes. It like makes me so happy to make people feel at home. And for this particular theme for a get together is a small group of us. I called it Sips and Savor. And that's exactly what we did, y'all. Everyone brought a dish and brought a drink of their choice. We laughed, we ate, we created core memories. And what I love about this particular community of women is that we're very intentional about making sure we get together every quarter or every other quarter over the last year. So that has just been so refreshing to be a part of communities that are reciprocal and everybody puts in effort to make sure that we are cultivating the community that we're creating with each other and for each other. But let me tell you something. What I love about doing these is that I'm able to try new things. And so I found this recipe online. I created a strawberry salad bar. And oh my God, it turned out so good. And I can't wait to make another one for the summer. And I think that will probably be like one of my summer specialties that I make. I have a few dishes that I do really well. And seafood salad is one of them that I like to do for the summertime and then for the holidays. And then now there's strawberry salad, which I'm like very excited about. I love pasta dishes. But anyways, oh, and the other thing that I really enjoy doing is like charcuterie boards. Again, I do those like for special occasions and stuff like that. And so for this get together, I did like mini personalized charcuterie boards for each of the ladies because everybody had different dietary restrictions. So I was able to curate boards specific to them. And that was so much fun. And I was like, oh man, I forgot how much joy I get from curating moments like this. And so from taking my time, from being present, that really reminded me that we should never delay joy waiting for the right time, right? It's never going to be the right time. If I go according to my Google Calendar, it's never going to be the right time because it does not exist in the calendar. It's not going to happen. In the calendar be calendaring. So I'd just be like, girl, get it together. Anyways, let me get back on track. The calendar is a whole nother situation, but time really doesn't wait for us. It just keeps moving while we try to catch up. So I'm done waiting. I'm done waiting for the right moment. There was a time not long ago when I kept pushing joy to next week, next month, next year. And I told myself I'd host when the house was cleaner, or when I felt like being bothered with people, or when I would be in town. And you know what? I said, forget that. Let's make it happen, right? It's one of those things like I'm going to celebrate when the project is done, or I'm going to rest when I have more time. And guess what? The time never came. It passed me by like a thief in the night. Like it just went by like a flash. So I looked up and I realized I was living around joy, but I wasn't living inside of it. Like joy was happening around me and I would always wish that I had that. Oh my God, that group of friends, they look like they're having a great time. That looks like so much fun. I wish I can do that. Yada, yada, yada. All of these things. And that's when I realized, wow, I'm living around it, but I'm not experiencing that inside of my life. And so over the last couple of years, I've been very intentional about curating what joy looks like inside of my ecosystem. And it's just been so great over the last several years, really living inside of joy. And that's what really made Sips and Savor even sweeter because this time I didn't wait. I didn't wait till I had the time. I made the time. And it truly is one of those things that you will make time for the things that you want. It's sometimes that you really can't make time because you really do be that busy. But you know what? I didn't wait. I chose joy in the middle of it all, and it changed everything. So here's a list of some simple joys I'm not waiting for anymore. Dancing in my living room to a YouTube DJ because I love a playlist and I love listening to the DJs that are on YouTube. Drinking a chilled ginger beer after a long day. I don't know what it is about ginger beers, but it's just something about them that tastes just really refreshing to me. Hosting friends at home with zero pressure. Taking slow walks with no podcast in my ears. Now, I don't know about that, but Imma try it one time when I go on a walk. But I love listening to just that background noise when I'm walking and just really having time to listen and catch up on things as I'm going for a walk. And then let me tell you, what got me in a chokehold. Do people still say that? But Imma say it. What still got me in the chokehold is these sparkling drinks from Trader Joe's. They're like it comes in a really cute glass bottle, but it's a blood orange sparkling drink from Trader Joe's that's so delicious. And it's like my absolute favorite drink during the summertime. It's just so refreshing and it just tastes so good. And I love a good Friday fun day, Saturday fun day, Sunday fun day. Okay, like everyday fun day is where I'm at right now. Like every day is fun day for me. Another simple joy is exploring the city without a plan. Like I often get asked, like, "Oh, what are your plans for this weekend?" And I be like, "I have no idea until the weekend comes," because that's how I just live my life, not trying to control every moment. Right? It is something to be said about allowing God to show up and show me what is possible. And if I don't leave room for God in the midst of my plans, for his plans, then I'll never really truly be able to experience a simple joy and what that looks like for me. And so I've learned a long time ago to release control over my schedule. And that's only been, and I say a long time ago, meaning like a couple years ago. It's very recent for me to release that control over my schedule, but I scheduled the thing and I'm committed to the things that I need to do. And then everything else will make room for itself, if that makes sense. I don't know why I say that, if that makes sense. If it do, that's fine. If it don't, that's okay. But to me, it makes sense. And that's what matters most. But I really released control over like feeling like I'm not being productive if I don't have every moment filled in my day. And that honestly zapped a lot of joy out of my life because I just felt like that if I wasn't doing something every minute, every second, every something, right, with my time, that it made me look like I'm not productive, but it made me feel overwhelmed, burnt out, and stressed. And so I changed my mindset around worrying about how other people perceive me and exchange that for how I perceive myself and how I want to feel and what I want it to look like. And so making those changes in my mindset over the last several years has just really been able to help me to prioritize my joy, prioritize myself, even in the midst of challenges and change. And it really helped me to strengthen my resilience and to be able to see the other side of whatever the challenge or hurt or grief that I was experiencing. Other simple joys, a midday nap. As you get older, you come to appreciate naps. Let me tell you something. I used to fight naps as a child, but now that I'm an adult, I now understand why Naps are so important. Oh my gosh. I love taking a midday nap and sometimes a mid-evening nap. Yes. You don't know about that, but I'm about to tell you. So a mid-evening nap for your girl looks like probably about 6 or 7. I get a little bit tired. I can't keep my eyes open. So I'll set a timer for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, whatever. I'll be like so tired that I just really can't keep going for the rest of the evening to make it to my bedtime. And so I take a little power nap. But my mid-evening naps be crucial because I don't be waking up until 12 hours later. So I have to stop taking mid-evening naps, but I be getting some bomb rest, and I love that for me. Last thing I'll say here is that letting myself be, even when there's work to do, has been a huge mindset shift that's taken me a long time to process and really embrace. But I love letting myself be, even when there's work to do. I feel like, at one point in my life that I always had to be on. And I hate feeling like I always have to be on. Like, just let me be. I don't want to work. I just want to be present in a moment. I just want to be present. I want to be able to show up and be myself. And because I had how do I want to communicate this? Or what am I trying to communicate? Because I used to allow other people's projections and also allowing social media to dictate to me what I should or shouldn't be doing. I started to adopt those. I don't know if they're philosophies, but I started to adopt those things that were being projected onto us. And I say us just in general, like people who are on social media, you get a lot of ads about certain things like, oh, you're missing out if you're doing this. And here are ways that you should be doing this. And if this is not happening, then this is why. Like all of these things that social media feeds us, I started to be like, wow, am I missing out on something because I'm not doing what that person's doing? Or am I a failure if I don't do this because this person is doing this and this is the outcome that they have? So let me go ahead and do it exactly the way that they're doing it so that I can get the exact same outcome that they get. But the reality of it is that is far from the truth and far from reality. And it just really does not happen that way. But until you go through it and understand, like, oh, you know, what God has for you is for you. And I had to come back to that realization that what God has for me is for me. And if I'm busy being a carbon copy of someone else and chasing what someone else has, then I can't get what God has for me because I'm too busy pretending to be someone else. And when I'm pretending to be somebody else and trying to exactly do what somebody else is doing, I will miss what God has for me because I'm not showing up as myself. Like my true self, my full self. I'm not showing God like this is who I'm called to be and I need to own and operate in that space. He can't bless who I pretend to be is basically what I'm trying to say. And so going through a lot of self-work and reflection and just doing that inner work, it just really opens your eyes to see that like, gosh, like I can see why joy was happening around me and I wasn't operating inside of it. And that list of simple joys that I just mentioned, none of these required a raise. None of them required validation or milestone or perfect plan. It just required intention. I had to figure out what I enjoy doing, not what others enjoy doing. And I just tagged along for it because I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like, I actually know myself so much better now, not trying to do what others do. Like, I mean, as you get older, it's just kind of like this take me as I am, like Mary J. Blige says, just take me as I am, or have nothing at all. I have nothing at all to give you if you can't take me as I am. And so I want to insert this point of reflection for us. So I want you to take 30 seconds right now with me. And I want you to name 3 things that brought you joy this week, no matter how small. And then I want you to say them out loud, then whisper them to yourself, and then I want you to write them down. That's what joy looks like showing up for you, right? we say that it takes a lot to experience joy, and it really does not. It don't have to be all this hoopla. It don't have to be nothing big or grandiose or anything like that. Like, literally, joy shows up for you in the smallest and biggest ways if you allow it. Because sometimes we be blocking our own blessings, and sometimes we love a good self sabotage. Sometimes we love to say that we're not worthy or I don't deserve. Baby, you are worthy and you deserve all the good things, okay? And hey, listen, if you're in a season where joy feels distant, that's okay too. I've been there. You don't have to fake joy to deserve rest. Sometimes just noticing one good thing, your breath, a breeze, a favorite song, is how joy finds its way back in. Let joy meet you where you are. There's nothing wrong with letting it meet you where you are. Every day is not going to be a good day. Every day is not going to be sunshines and rainbows. It's just not. But you can create space for it to come back in. So often as creatives, we tie our joy to output. I know for me, I tied my joy to output for years, literally for decades, up until just literally recently in the last couple of years. We tie our joy to output, to metrics, to milestones. We tell ourselves, I feel good when the launch is done. I'll rest after the next thing. I'll celebrate once I've earned it. But joy doesn't have to be earned. Joy doesn't have to be earned. It just has to be noticed. It has to be received. It has to be created. And that shift from doing joy to being in joy is what's saving my creativity right now, because for a long time, y'all, I lost my creative spark. I lost my creativity. I felt like I wasn't worthy. I felt like I didn't deserve. But then something clicked for me. Joy is not the reward. Joy is the flow. Joy is the rhythm of life. Joy is whatever you want it to be. It don't have to be complicated, y'all. So here's your joy assignment for this week. And yes, you have a small assignment. Think of this like summer school, but like joy summer school, okay? So here's your assignment. I want you to do things that bring you joy this week, but don't post it. I want you to just be in it, and I just want you to embrace it. Let that moment be for you and only you. You think you can handle that? I know you can. So here's an example of that if you need a little something to get you thinking about what that looks like for you. It could be buy yourself flowers, it could be taking a solo walk, or blasting your favorite song and dancing in the living room like no one is watching. I want you to let joy live off the timeline. I think that we get so wrapped up in having to post everything. And I think honestly, doing that for so long had really created this disdain for social media that I had. And I just really don't want to be on social media if I don't have to. I have since changed the way I show up online over the last year, because I just, at the end of the year, when I was doing my digital declutter, I just was like, why? What is the purpose of this? I'm really not trying to sell nothing. I'm not here for that. I'm not here to try to convince anybody why they need to work with me. Like, I I come from a time where I didn't have to be on social to get clients or prove my worth and convince people why they need to work with me. I just present the information and they can make the decision for themselves. But to have to continue to show up to convince you why you need to work with me, like, I just do not like that part of social media. Like, so I decided over the last year that I was just going to create for fun again. So I just started to document my life in such a way that it started to be fun for me. I have, oh my God, hundreds of reels of just like my day-to-day life and experiences that I have with myself and community, travel, food, all of that stuff. That's how I actually got into creating reels, because when me and my friends would get together, or communities or events and things like that that I'd be part of, I would curate reels for us to recap our day or our time together, and I would just send it out. And it just was the best thing ever, and I got to create for fun. I didn't have to post any of it. I had so much content that would never see social media, but being able to create and capture those moments for the communities that I'm in and that I serve in just brought me so much joy, and it really helped me to start creating for joy again. And that's why I really enjoy doing reels so much and doing content creation because I get to do it for fun and I get to do it from a place of joy. And unbeknownst to me, a year later, who would have known that, like, I get paid to create reels for people? And that is so crazy to me that I get to see what's possible by doing things from a place of joy. And so now I'm able to show back up on social media in a way from a place of joy versus a place of just disgust. Like, I'm not here to convince anybody of anything. Like, you know what you need. If I'm the person to provide that service to you, then do what you said you want to do and let me solve that problem for you. But I'm not here to go back and forth. And it had really just become, it's not worth it for me. Like, it was one of those things. It's like, if this is what it's going to take for me to have to build a business and be an entrepreneur, I really was in a season recently where I was like, you know what? Maybe entrepreneurship isn't for me. And that's okay because I just didn't like what it started to turn into. So there's my rant on that. But do something this week that brings you joy and live off the timeline. Don't post it. Just enjoy it. Just be in the moment. So here's my question for you. So in this purposeful pause, I want you to reflect on this. What simple joys are you putting off until later? And what would it look like to make space for them this week, in this moment, in this time, for yourself, not for anybody else? Not when the work is done, not when life calms down, this week. This world is heavy, and you have to protect your peace in the midst of the heaviness. You get to control that. You don't have to be influenced by the external factors. Like, those things don't dictate the joy you get to curate for yourself. Whatever the heaviness is didn't give you your joy, and it sure enough can't take your joy away. I want you to remember that you don't have to carry it all. You get to create joy. You get to host it. You get to invite it in without permission. You don't need permission to experience joy. And here's the thing. You don't have to wait for nobody else to give you joy or bring you joy or create your joy. That's you. That's all you. So go pour that drink. Play that playlist. Make that thing. Text your people and say less. I'm pulling up right now with a bottle and some snacks. Because the moment is the occasion. And joy doesn't need a reason. It just needs room. Thank you for listening to the Purpose to Create podcast. If you haven't yet, subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and send this episode to a friend. Until next time, keep creating with purpose.